What you're continuing to see in a post-COVID landscape, as much we all hope it remains, are people still wanting to digitize in the same sort of rate?
Absolutely. So the trend that you're seeing has been going on for 15 years, right? People have called it digital transformation, right? It's the idea that we as consumers want to interact with companies over these devices, in the web, on mobile. And when we do, it's easier, it's faster, we get a lot of value out of that. And as such, nearly every company in every industry is undergoing this digital transformation. And that trend has been accelerated by COVID because we, out of necessity, needed to interact with many companies only digitally. But that was an acceleration of the trend that already had been going on for the greater part of, since the millennium. And the way I look at it is the companies who realize that in order to compete in this digital economy, right, they can't just buy these digital experiences off the shelf and expect to compete. The companies that you think of as the great digital companies, the Ubers, Airbnbs, Googles, Amazons, like what do? They build software. They listen to customers. They have a roadmap that reflects the things their customers want, and they pick up their tools and they start building. And so what APIs represent for those companies is the supply chain that allows them to go build and serve their customers and then win in the digital economy.
All right, absolutely. Well said there, Jeff. Let's talk about also the security, though, of course, of all of this as well. This has, of course, been in the news lately with some of the ransomware attacks, cyber attacks, and even really just the general stability, even if it's not about being hacked per se here. How do you make it so that these companies have confidence here in the stability of these networks, which are now pretty much vital to every single thing we do?
Well, by specializing in delivering parts of that software value proposition, cloud companies are doing much better than their legacy on-prem counterparts. If you think about security and things like that, when customers use cloud services, they're typically not vulnerable to things like ransomware attacks that typically hit on-prem services like Windows workstations and things like that. So the cloud has proven to be more resilient, more secure, and an accelerant on business on top of those other value propositions. And so I think that's part of the value of this API supply chain that allows companies to move faster, but also more confidently on the internet.
Analysts were really excited about the purchase for $850 million of a tech startup, Zipwhip. What does this deal do for you?
Well, this is an acceleration of our success in messaging. We are providing messaging services, so SMS, as well as WhatsApp and things like that, to over 100,000 businesses use Twilio for various kinds of communications. And what Zipwhip does, they provide business messaging over 800 numbers. And we have been working with them for a long time. Making them part of the Twilio family just allows us to accelerate what we can do for businesses who are trying to reach their customers over text messaging for a wide variety of use cases, whether it is alerts, notifications, support, service, sales. Text messaging and how we engage with businesses over text is really taking over the legacy voice channels and even things like chat. And we believe strongly that businesses that engage their customers with two-way text messaging are those that are able to build great relationships with their customers.
Well, the last text I just received was from my doctor as I took my kids there yesterday. And this is an area I know you've been focusing in on, telehealth, for example, education too. Like, we know that you've got very strong relationships within the retail space. You've been making good acquisitions previously, Segment and the like earlier, to help beef up that part. What about these new areas that really the pandemic shone a light on as well?
You know, medicine, health is an amazing area for customer-centered innovation, right? If you think about how much of a pain it is to have to go to a doctor's office to schedule it, all the paperwork you do, and then paying the bills, oh my God, there are so many opportunities for health systems, insurers, and providers to improve this process. And we're working with many of them, whether it is telehealth visits, so you don't even have to go to the doctor's office anymore. COVID saw a huge growth in telemedicine visits. And I think that is going to be here to stay as a permanent part of our health landscape, but also these workflows, like getting that text message, the simple ones, like reminding you of your appointment. Obviously, the doctors see huge value in reducing no-shows, but for you, getting reminders about your care, getting your prescription filled, getting your follow-up appointments, all those things, the more we can digitize these complex workflows of getting the care that we all need, the better the health outcomes are. Health providers and insurers save money and society benefits. I think this is an amazing area for customer-centered innovation, and we're seeing it